Hey everybody, it's Julie from Mystical Moonchild. How are we today? Hope you're having a lovely day. And we're going to do an angel message and we'll see what comes out for us, yeah? Okay. First card out. Oh, the power. Standing in your power again. Have you been going through this week and neglecting that? Because this is like really saying here, sometimes you just have to say no to things that aren't serving you. Like, it's really about being strong in your intentions, you know, and do what it is that you want to do that makes you move forward in your life, and not being so accommodating to everybody else. And that isn't selfish. It's just making you super strong and authentic to you, which allows the doors to open that you want to go through. So stand in your power. Whoops, that just flipped. Okay, and we've got Archangel Michael back with this. Archangel Michael says, look, I'm here. I will help you with this. Do not be afraid to be who you are. This is so strong lately. It's like you just got to come out of your shell and, you know, who are you? Do you know who you are anymore? It's a big reset is what I'm getting here. For you to understand, you know, yourself, and knowing that you have help to do this. What's holding you back? What are your fears about being you? Because this is your journey and it's all about you, see? Where has this come from? Because something would have showed up in your life earlier, maybe as a child. Somebody say something nasty at school and it's put the brakes on you, okay? It's just like you're just not trusting, you're just not believing, you're allowing past sabotages to hold you back now. And then Archangel Michael's always there going, call me in, I'll protect you, I'll keep you safe. I'll remove that negative energy, negative thoughts. Okay? You are stronger than you think if you just believe. That's pretty much all I have to say about that today, because I feel like we've touched on it a few times lately. But it's reinforcing and it's reinforcing. It's like, you know, because of free will, they can't intervene. You have to ask. You can discuss things with them. Okay? And, you know, to have this power, this authenticity, you know, what is your block? As I said, my readings are different to most people's. They are intuitive. But they're lessons to move forward in life too. I don't want to be the same as everybody else. I am me. Okay? And just like you have the power to be who you want to be too. Okay? So what is holding you back? Are you looking for somebody else's story? Do you think everybody doesn't have their own story and challenges throughout their life? Because they do. Believe me, they do. Even I've had my own challenges. But I'm still here. Okay, I've had, you know, children that said, you're too old, why do you even bother going and doing this? You know, you shouldn't be up there. I thought I was too old 20 years ago. And yet I came out and started doing this at 50. Okay? I held myself back for a long, long time. You know, then you've got all your family conditioning, like, you know, you were the odd one. The one that nobody knew what to do with because you asked too many questions. You know, and they didn't know how to deal with you. They just ostracized you. Told you to get your head out the clouds. You know, like, if you want to know about obstacles I've had in my life, your mouth would be rolling around on the floor going like, oh my gosh, why is she still here? Because these are lessons. We are here to learn lessons. And this is what I want to stress to you. Life isn't easy, but as you go through your lessons and understand things and the dynamics, because there's a whole other picture here. Like, if I was, okay, I'll just be me and go like, okay, on the other side, we wrote out a plan, our very own blueprint of what we wanted to achieve in this lifetime. We've picked our parents. Now, even if it was a one-night stand, and I'm just saying this is general, overall, that soul wanted these parents, okay, for whatever it is they've chose to learn in this lifetime. Those that are closest to you are normally the one that's give you the hardest lessons, okay, that they broke you in a sense, but they haven't. They might have crushed your dreams, but you've got back up, okay? There's a whole lot of metaphysical side to why we're here and the lessons we've chose, because this is why we're here. We're here to learn. We want to evolve the soul. And you can't do that on the other side in a place of love and, you know, love and everyone, the frequency is so high. I mean, there is nothing. There's no issues. It's high vibe. So I can say to you, by saying what I've said to you today, which you do not know how many times I've shut my mouth and restricted myself from coming forward with the knowledge that I've had, of 40 years worth of knowledge and study. I don't sit there and go, I've done this and I've done that and blah, 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 because you know what? Who cares? Do you think I care? I know what I know. And I know what I believe. And that's all that matters to me. It's not approval. But what I do want you to understand is you are very valuable. You do have a role to play. You do have lessons to learn. And it's satisfying when you've learnt that lesson. Say you've got the most... okay, say you're in a relationship that's just really not good. But you stay there because you know what? It's what you do. Remember? Forced into you, like going back my generation, till death do you part. Okay, so that's, you know, that can be very deeply ingrained. And I've been through a lot of people in palliative care and like stories, oh my gosh, my life experiences are phenomenal. But bringing it back, people take this very, very seriously. And then you understand that other person and you know how this roundabout goes, their cycle, when they're up, when they just totally lose it, and then they're apologetic and nice again, and it's all good. And then, you know, then it starts again. But you get used to that. You know what to expect. It makes it easier to deal with. And a lot of people have stayed in situations like that because of... And I'm talking about people in my age group, not so much the new ones, because new ones got different things now. A lot more is open. Okay, there's a lot more out there, and it's easier in a lot of ways. You know, you got to think, I'm 60. So I was born in 66. Therefore, my conditionings are a lot different. A lot of people I know's conditioning's a lot different. Even having a 10-year age gap, it's different. But there was a lot of suppression, my generation. And you got to think, people come from wars and people were immigrants and this and that happened. You know, there was a lot of stuff happening and people just wanted to survive. And the only way they could was by being submissive and turning into somebody or being somebody that people wouldn't come down on you with, okay? People wouldn't talk about you because you ticked all the correct boxes. So they left themselves in situations that they really didn't want to be in, but they did. And this is all I'm going to say today. I mean, I have been doing readings for, as I said, like 40 years. And this generation, my generation, you know, the stories are so similar with what people are hanging on to and not moving forward from. Because there was no one to tell us this stuff. You know, you had your own set of conditionings that was drummed into you as a child. You went to, well, you know, a school, whether it was public or, you know, a private school. You constantly had things that you had to obey by. And that's where you're stuck. You're stuck in those realms, right? Because this was the belief system. And then palliative care patients, some of those people, like, you know, they just stayed in things their whole life because they just thought that's, you know, what they had to do. They didn't know any better. And that is so sad. Whereas you guys get this now. It's like, you know, if it doesn't work, you move forward. It really wasn't like that before. So you do have the strength and the power to achieve what you want to in your life. And my throat is just going. I just want to sit here and go, but I won't because I can get on that tangent and, you know, but I just want you to think, what is holding you back? What are you so afraid of? Things are so much more open now. Like, we never had the internet or anything when we were young. Okay, we didn't have access to all of this. And I can tell you now, there wasn't really books that we knew about that could teach you stuff that you would want to hear. And I've read plenty of books as a kid, but like, you know, nothing to what I know now that exists. So now everything's just out there, you know, so you have the freedom to be the person you want. You have the freedom to, you know, look into other information, make your own informed decision, because this is it. It's your informed decision of who you want to be. And I'll leave that as that. I know that was big. But like, there's so much more life experiences I could tell you in different scenarios. And I know all of you would have been through something so similar. And I'm not saying like now just to walk away from something because it's too hard. Because that's not correct either. I mean, you do have to try to work at things. But if you constantly work at something and it's not going anywhere, that's when you should reconsider. Okay? You don't throw it out like a rotten egg. But only you'll know. And you'll know what you want to do. And then there's always other factors involved there too. And you have to really think about how you want to do this. And that's why it's no good staying in jobs and that aren't benefiting you, where you're being bullied and you're just taken for granted and you're underpaid and, you know, people don't have that respect. It's time for you to respect yourself, stand up, be recognised, stand in your power. You tell them how it is that you want your life to be, or how you want this job to, like, what do you want from me in this job? Because I'm willing to offer you this, this, and this. I'm not asking for a pay rise. Things aren't sufficient and I have a better way that would work. Could you at least listen to the suggestions and then come back to me and tell me? Okay? Make it where you stand in your power, where you can put across what it is you need to do. And yeah, don't feel like that's a bad thing and you're going to be condemned for it. Because if that is to happen, that's on them, not you. Sometimes the truth hurts. And, people run from that. So coming back to this, stand in your power. Archangel Michael will help you with this. He's there. Just call him in. Get him to clear all the negative energy, negative thoughts away. Have a conversation with him about, what you would like, and, this is what I propose and how can I do this? He'll give you the strength to stand tall and he'll help you. The right words will come out and you'll think back later, well, wow, that's not something I would have said, or that's not a word I would have used. But there is help. There is always help. So I'm going to leave you with this today, and hopefully I haven't freaked you out too much. But this is your story. And if you want somebody to keep suppressing you and you just not being you, and you want a lifetime of that, that's fine. That's your life, But if you want things to change and you want to be recognised for your strengths and your abilities, and you want the right doors of opportunity to open, and you want to be successful, and you want to achieve, and achieve, if it's a family life and children and a happy marriage, that's an achievement. Okay, it's whatever you want, and you can stand there and be proud that this is, you've done it. So just think about what's holding you back in your life, and know that Archangel Michael is always there. I just feel like he wants to come out so much more. I feel like we must need him so much more, because he's really here. So many of these messages, he's just coming through like everyone's going through something, and he's like, here, I'm watching everybody, like, call me in. I'll help you with this because of our free will. And I'll keep reinstating free will, because this is what we have, is free will. So if we don't ask, we're not going to receive, right? Okay, bye for now.